DJ Event Planner will change the way you manage and run your business. Streamline all of your procedures and software into one easy-to-manage system. DJ Event Planner, the ultimate online planning tool.
This screen, because right now they're not able to see Jared and Jeremy that well. Right now, everyone, Jared is going to go get his homework because we are going to be talking conventions tonight. Yay! Okay, that was exciting, and gosh, I feel like I'm back in junior high trying to coach girls in track, and it's like, okay, we get to run a 5 mile today, and they're like, yay! And then they all walk back to the locker room. We're sick.
My question is, if you're going to do that, why, or if you're going to complain, why'd you sign up in the first place?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you guys should just be happier. Okay, hey, we are here. We are live. We are doing great things or something like that. Want to get a shot. Oops, I don't want to do that. Get a shot reset here, and then we'll be good to go. Tonight, we are joined by the one and only Jeremy Breck. That's right. That is that handsome man in the lower left-hand corner of the screen. Shani is off tonight. She is a little bit under the weather this evening, so send your positive thoughts and vibes her way because she's been dealing with a couple of things, and hopefully she has got a handle on those. She thinks she had some things fixed, or the doctor had some things diagnosed now, so they can get her back on the road to recovery. So
she got the same crud Scott must have gotten.
I'm guessing it's probably Las Vegas that got to her. But
there's a few people. I mean, Mitch, I saw this morning. He missed his live at 7:55, Mitch would be one of these guys who would be like on death. I envision he's on death's bed, and he would be like, wait, no, I got to go. I got to live stream.
Yeah.
I mean, wouldn't he be that guy? If there's ever one who would be that guy, every morning at 7:55.
It would be Mitch. Yeah.
It would be Mitch. So we are here. We had a week off last week because Las Vegas was a busy place last week. We had both the Photo Booth Expo and Mobile Beat Las Vegas. So tonight's show, we're going to kind of look back a little bit, share some thoughts of what we saw, what we experienced. Then we're going to be looking at what's coming up for DJ shows. And I hope, Dan, Jared, you guys had a few moments to look at some of the things that were going to be coming up with the shows. Yes?
Yes.
Nice.
Sure.
Nice.
My show is easy. There's not a ton out there for it right now.
I had asked them to go and do the investigative reporting that you all would like them to do. So they are going to be able to answer in-depth questions about shows that are coming up this summer. I'm so excited. So excited. Jeremy's like,
man, you're really making this a riveting episode.
This is going to be something. This could be one, and maybe an Emmy could be coming from this, or a Tony, or maybe a Fred or a Bob. I don't know. Could be all of them.
Gosh.
I've already got a Bob.
Is it like this all the time? I'm just curious.
Yes.
So
you mean you don't tune in?
I don't ever remember it being
I tune in for your show.
Really? Who's my counterpart?
You're the other
Dave.
one.
Well, that's you. Whatever.
So for those of you who do not know, Jeremy...
That's a total 6-year-old move right there, Jeremy. So who's my counterpart? And then Dan hits you with the answer and you're like, shut up.
Everybody knows Dave, though. That's not fair.
That's true. That more people.
But you asked the question, so I threw it out.
I know, it's true. Well, let's give these people something to watch.
So tonight, let's start off with what happened or what started off. We had Photo Booth Expo, which is at the Westgate last week. If some of you got to see some of my live streams from that, recapping the day, and then we had Mobile Beat. Photo Booth started on Sunday. Jeremy, did you get a chance to buzz up there and check out at all?
I did. I was actually one of the idiots that was like, hey, $25 to add photo booth. That sounds awesome. So I added it. I paid the $25. And then like a week later, they're like, you know what? We're just going to give all Mobile Beat people free passes to the photo booth. So I basically donated $25 to the Photo Booth Expo. I did get a chance to go up there on Wednesday. And I think that was the last day of the show floor.
Yes.
I didn't go to any of the education, but it was kind of cool because I actually got to see a lot of the presenters that were at Photo Booth Expo. You had, oh my gosh, Alan. You had Sonny, who actually spoke at Mobile Beat as well. And, you know, so I got to catch up with those guys and pick their brains a little bit, which, I mean, as we're probably going to get to in this conversation, that's really where the education is in those hallway conversations. But I did get a chance to walk the show floor, and man, it's incredible how the photo booth industry has just taken over. You look at the show floor. How many booths were there, John?
Oh my goodness gracious! There were probably, I'm going to say probably around 125 to 150. Now,
yeah, and some of them were big booths too.
Oh, I mean, for sure. That was the big difference between last year and this year is that there were only a few more vendors, not many more, but the size of the booth was just, there were some that were 6 booth spaces. I want to say that he was 400 or some booth spaces. It was just some huge number.
Yeah.
And
it was incredible.
Yeah, it was.
The thing with the thing that I kind of liked about it, but also didn't like about it was, I did like the size, but it seemed like a lot of some of the products that were, you know, this shell, a lot of the companies kind of, you know, found a shell and then they copied it or they kind of mimicked it or those type of things. The one thing I found really interesting is you walked into Westgate and it's like Photo Booth Expo this way. But the little convention / expo that was next to Photo Booth Expo was really interesting. I don't know how many people. I'm sure everybody noticed it.
No, not. You'd be surprised how many people came off the monorail and they weren't staying there, so they didn't go. They maybe came in from the convention side, whatever. I was really surprised. Jeremy, you kind of enlightened people on what the other convention was.
That's your teaser, and that's technically what this conference was. It was a big teaser. Yeah. So you walk in, you go past the big the archway that says "Welcome to Photo Booth Expo 2018." You walk through that, and all of a sudden you see all these large, probably like 12-foot by 8-foot posters of women and men's lingerie. And I mean, it's like skimpy. I mean, we're talking like Fredericks of Hollywood looking stuff. And I'm walking towards this. I'm like, what kind of props are they using in their photo booths? So then you get to that and you're like, this can't be it. You're looking through there and it's just like all this skimpy underwear. There's like buttless. I don't even know what the men's poster was like. Buttless.
There was chaps. I know there was one guy was wearing that just
like
chaps.
Buttless underwear. Like, okay, well that's apparently a thing.
It used to be a jock strap is what we called it.
Yeah. So then when you took a right, then you actually saw like all of the Photo Booth Expo itself. So it was a very interesting intro to the show. But overall, I thought the show was really solid. I really enjoyed kind of just seeing all the new technology, except there's one piece of technology that nobody had that I think I'm going to invent and retire in the age of next year. So.
Oh, really? And what would that be, Jeremy? Just
write this down, John.
Just kind of randomly tell us, what that would be.
Well, okay. So they have a bunch of
slower. Can't write that fast.
They have a bunch of photo booths that use iPads.
Yes.
Okay. So that's great. You can't connect a USB to an iPad, and you can connect Bluetooth. So I went around, I talked to every single printing company, and I'm like, do you have a Bluetooth printer? They're like, well, no, you can just set up a network and then you can just print from your iPad straight to that. I'm like, I don't want to have to send an IT individual, someone who has an IT background to go set up my photo booth. So I don't want to send a router. I don't want to send an internet connection. I don't want to have to do that stuff. I just want it to be able to Bluetooth from this iPad station and Bluetooth it to the printer. I said, you can buy an $89 printer at Walmart that has Bluetooth capabilities. And you guys have $1,000 printers that don't have that technology. It blew my mind. So that was the one thing that I was like, I got to go find this. But
Jeremy, did it blow your mind or did it Bluetooth your mind?
Ooh.
It blew my tooth.
Mind.
Well,
Blew
Nope.
my-
Blue
I don't
mind.
know.
Mine's
Blue Man groups your tooth.
Blue
That's-
tooth. Wow.
That's the connection.
That's
So
an
that
in-
was, like I said, I thought Photo Booth Expo was cool. I mean, for the free pass, I think everybody, even if you don't do photo booths, everyone should have gone checked it out. Because you look at the DJ industry and photo booths are taking a lot of the budgets from people. They're like, oh, I can't spend that much on a DJ because I have to buy a photo booth or I need a photo booth at my wedding. But yeah, I thought it was overall a good show.
Mitch Taylor just said that Jeremy Breck is a freaking genius. So, Jeremy, how much does that cost you for him to say that?
Royalties now that he's going to start this Bluetooth printer.
Yeah, I think
Because you're
so.
in the show for the next hour and he's got an hour ahead up on you.
He's 1 hour ahead. Even though he's under the weather and he couldn't do 7:55, he still has got enough game to go.
Right.
Oh yeah,
How does that happen?
he's a gamer. He is.
9:55 p.m. with Mitch Taylor.
So the interesting thing that I noticed with the two shows, of course, with them coinciding, they could go back and forth. Is up until Wednesday, I was pretty much at photo booth most of the day, or Monday evening, and then Tuesday. I didn't see as many DJs as I thought that were going to be coming down. It was actually kind of surprising to me.
Yeah.
Maybe I recognized on Tuesday, maybe because I was there all day on Tuesday back with the exhibit hall. 25, 30, 40 people would have been about the most that I recognized coming across, which surprised me. I expected there to be many, many more.
Yeah. Yeah, it was kind of interesting to actually see how many and maybe that's just it. Maybe it was just all this fresh blood that was at Mobile Beat this year. Because they always ask, how many of you are first time attending? And there was a lot of people that had their hands up. And it didn't seem like the crowd was as full with the veterans that are typically there.
Interesting.
And I think, again, they had a decent turnout. I just think maybe it was just newer blood that maybe you're not familiar with or you haven't seen. There was a lot of people that I met at the show at Mobile Beat that I had never met before, or we had been talking online, or they watched our show on Wednesday nights with me and Dave that came and introduced themselves. And that was one of the things when Dave and I were talking on our show not last week, but the week before, was, come up and talk to us. We want to get to know you guys. So it was good. It was good networking, meeting a lot of new people. And I think there was just a lot of fresh blood that maybe you didn't realize that they were DJs.
Very possible. Yeah, I was kind of looking, obviously, for faces, but then the ones who were wearing a Mobile Beat pass, because they would take that up to the table and then they could get their other pass. I just didn't see that many of them. So I was kind of surprised. But then again, maybe Wednesday was the better day for them to make that journey across. Because when I made it down to Mobile Beat finally on Wednesday, so when the exhibit hall opened, and I was kind of shocked at the doors opened, and it was like, whew, there were 5 people who walked through the door here, and maybe 10, 12, 15 over here, and that was about the extent of it. There just wasn't a huge crowd, so it's like, where did everybody go? They must have known I was coming here and left.
You know what?
So you came there and everybody else went over to the other one.
I think so.
I think that's actually, I noticed this yesterday. We had a wedding show yesterday, and I had a bride that came up to us with like a half hour left in the show. And I said, she said, she goes, it's nice coming late because then I can actually talk with the vendors that I want to talk with.
Yes.
And I'm like, that's a good point. I mean, that's exactly as a person in the booth, I got more valuable time when it was slow because I didn't feel like, okay, here's the information. Okay, I need to get to the next person. Here's the information. You had the time to actually sit and talk with them. And I closed more sales at the end of the show, not because they were there and they already did all their homework. It's, hey, we have a chance to really learn about you guys and us learn about them. So I think that's a good thing to keep in mind. If you're going to a trade show, don't go right when the doors open. Give it some time. Let the rush get away. So that way, if you really want to sit there and talk to a vendor or somebody in their booth, then you have that time. And I think that's valuable time.
William just made a statement that I want to touch on, and we've not talked about this before, but I think this is a great point. William mentioned if I'm going to go, I want to be there for a whole week. Jeremy, you've been to a convention. Mobile Beat ends on Thursday afternoon. You've stayed till Friday.
Oh man.
What does it feel like come Thursday at 5 or 6 or 7 o'clock when people are all of a sudden it has this weird feeling when everyone all of a sudden is gone?
You know what? There was a year, I can't remember when it was. Mitch was in it. Mitch went with me. I believe Aldo went with me. I know Randy Bartlett was there. But I actually came like 3 days before Mobile Beat started, and I took a Marbecca workshop. Then I was there for Mobile Beat, and then I stayed for another workshop, and then I stayed for it was a speakers conference about like public speaking and Toastmasters. You know, all these professional speakers. I'm like, oh, I want to be that. I want to improve myself as a professional speaker. And so we went to that for 2 days at the Rio, and I was there for 11 days. Now, as you guys know, 3 days in Vegas is probably enough.
About it, yep.
I mean, I think we can all agree on that. Is that correct?
Well, Dan's never been out there yet.
You haven't?
No, we wouldn't let him out there. Last time he was in Atlantic City, it was...
Oh, I heard. Yeah, you gave me that story.
Yeah.
So being there for a week in Vegas can be really overwhelming. And like John said, once the people that you connect with and those relationships, once those people leave, you're kind of walking Vegas, and you're like, all right, you know, what do we do? You know, you go to a show, it's like, okay, that's done. Now what? You know, I mean, I can't go out and drink at the bar by myself. Then I'm going to look like everybody else in Vegas. So there's really a depressing moment, like John was saying. Once everyone's gone, it's not glam.
Not a bit.
No, I had more evenings that I got to spend, and this was my first year in the last 7 years, I think it was, that I didn't actually work at all at the show. In the past, I've worked I did the Chauvet presentations, and then the last 3 years actually did the production for the show. And this year was kind of a reassuring lift of, I love having dinner with people and lunches with people and breakfast with people. I booked every single opportunity I did to sit down with somebody. And to me, that was extremely valuable. I had hallway conversations. And I think that's why you had me on the show tonight, because you're like, everybody I talked to said they were, you know, they weren't really in the seminars, they were in the hallways.
Yeah.
You know, how does that happen? So I did take in some of the education, and I took in the expectation of what Mobile Beat was. And being on this side, being in the seats this year, as opposed to being behind the production desk, was a good breath of fresh air. But there were some things, it's just like anything. It's like when a DJ goes to a wedding or they go to an anniversary party and there's another DJ there. They're looking at it and saying, no, oh gosh, you know? So I kind of felt myself doing that. And that was hard to kind of break away from.
Sure.
But I thought ADJ did a great job with the lighting. There's some things that I would have done different. There were some things I would have changed. And overall, the production of the show, it didn't have the wow that I personally put hours upon hours upon hours before these events in the past. I just didn't feel like it was there. And I don't know whose fault that was. I don't know if that was, I think, like I said, ADJ brought a great rig. They brought great lighting. They did a great job with the look. And I just don't know if maybe it just lacked the leadership that it needed to create those aha moments or those theatrical moments like we've done in the past.
Sure. So in other words, you're saying that there wasn't a Vegas dancing girl that came up on stage, and
there were no Vegas dancing girls. There were no violin players.
But
there was
I
no
saw Rob Foray made it up on stage, and Rob's got some pretty killer dance moves. I'm just saying.
He did make it on the stage with Vanilla. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a really interesting moment. We're all sitting there. Well, we're not sitting there. We're standing there watching this, and we're like, is that Rob?
he was dressed up with
Joe Button was the one that pointed out. He's like, dude, that's for Ray.
He's got this top hat thing going on, and
oh, it was hilarious. It was hilarious. But that's Rob. That is Rob Frey. You know, that's who he is. That's what he does.
Yeah, fun times. So I don't want you to talk about the educational or any the things you picked up and such, because you and Dave will talk about that on Wednesday, I'm sure. The lessons and such from the show. I just want to kind of give folks an idea. And as we talked about is that, Jeremy mentioned that a lot of people, of course, were there. And this particular show, more than in the past, I think, Jeremy, was that people were there for a period of time, but there was so many other group activities going on. And this year, more so during the day, I've not heard this many people going for lunch. Usually it's been maybe one or two, hey, Jeremy, let's go grab a bite to eat and we'll get right back to the... There was a group of people, I think around 15 people who left for lunch, and they had a 3-hour lunch break. That they just and you didn't see that in the past. And I don't know if it's because we're evolving. This show's evolving, and I think we're even with Midwest DJs Live, we're kind of seeing where you're getting more of that kind of click. Some groups are kind of getting together and going and doing their own thing. Did you perceive that also?
I think you're right. I think what's happened is you look at the technology that we have now. You have things like this, where we have conversations digitally and we meet people digitally. And then it's like, gosh, I would really love to just sit down and take you out for dinner or take you out for lunch. And the cool thing is people buy each other's lunches. I buy lunch for a group of people, and then the next thing you know, someone else bought my lunch, So it's kind of this circle. But the thing I think a lot of people share a lot of education. They see a lot of stuff on Disc Jockey News. They see a lot of stuff on YouTube. And the presenters that I think are solid are true presenters. Like, this is what they do. For instance, Randy Bartlett is a great presenter. He's a phenomenal, and apparently he's retiring. Yeah, it's not happening. We all know that.
I kind of envision him being like Rocky. All of a sudden he'll come up,
Yeah.
Not know when to really call it quits. And
yeah, no. But again, I think there's so much education out there that a lot of the DJ education that people are sharing, it's kind of like, oh, I've heard this before. Randy's thing, like I said, he talked about the 1% solution. If anybody has seen Randy Bartlett present in the past, you've already seen the 1% solution. So what he did is he took his 1% solution, he added some things and kind of put it into a life story. And he did a great job. The first time DJs, I'm going to guarantee we're probably thinking that was amazing, which again, he's a great presenter. And I think everybody should have the 1% solution. So again, I think a lot of that education is out there, and it's just having those moments to sit down with people, I think, is more valuable, because you can actually talk. You can have conversations where if you have a presenter up there, it's hard to say, hey, I've got a question. Can you repeat that? Or can you give me some ideas? You brought up a great point, but what if I did this, this, and this? I think you kind of get disconnect from the presenters. But again, that networking is what it's all about. Jared, wouldn't you agree?
Yes.
Did you even hear what I said?
I'm listening. I'm paying attention to what's going on. I'm listening. This is just different, I guess. But no, I agree. Okay. So I like Randy. I've chatted with Randy many times. Randy is a very short man.
Well, you're a tall man. Let's put it that way.
I am. I'm 6'4". I think Jeremy, you're a little bit taller than I am, aren't you?
I'm 6'4". I'm 6'4".
Okay, perfect. So I'm 6'4". With my hair, I'm 6'6". And I did not go to Mobile Beat. I did not go. I have to choose where I get to go each year. And I have seen Randy speak, though, at where was it? He spoke briefly at was it ARMS last year? I know that it was at Midwest DJs Live he spoke. I'm not sure if he spoke at ARMS or not. But it's exactly what Jeremy said. If you've got the 1% solution DVD, that is his core. That is his pie. And every time that I've seen him speak, he adds a different type of a flavor twist to it. Mm-hmm. It sounds like this year he added more of a personal touch to it, more of a conversational element to it. And what I appreciate about Randy a lot is that he doesn't beat around the bush about anything whatsoever. So if you are if you struggle with just being told flat out, this is what you probably should be doing or shouldn't be doing, Randy is not the guy for you. But I love it. I love being told, hey, this is exactly what you should be doing. And I eat that crap up. I love it to death. I love listening to Randy speak because I know it's not going to be fluff. It's not going to be filler. It's going to be direct stuff that you're going to be able to apply to your career, but also to you as a person and as an entertainer, which I respect.
And one of the things, we went on a DJ hike. Did you hear about this, John?
I didn't. I heard it happened, but I didn't hear much about it.
So the cool thing, Dan, if you ever do go out to Mobile Beat, or if you go out to Las Vegas, Marcello actually put together this. And John, this is exactly what you're saying. I mean, like, this group of people got together and they did this, and this group got to do this. Marcello, out in Jersey, he put together this Celebrate Life DJ hike. And we had 33 DJs or spouses and spouses that we all went out to Red Rocks, and we did this hike. It was a 5-mile hike up this mountain. And the cool thing about that was I got to speak to some people that I don't typically hang out with. I don't typically see. Some people I didn't even know. And so having these great conversations, I mean, there was a lot of idea sharing just on something like that. We couldn't breathe and talk at the same time because we were hiking up this mountain, but it was a good cardio workout. But the reason I kind of bring that up is because I was talking with Randy when we were walking and we were doing our hike. And I said, Randy, you have the 1% solution, which to me is phenomenal. I mean, so many DJs have learned a lot from this 1% solution. And I actually talked to a lot of presenters about this as well. I said, you now have to look at the 1% solution, and you need to figure out how to present this outside of the DJ industry. Because, as we all know, DJs are cheap. They don't like to spend money. B, they don't like to, they wouldn't pay for Randy to come in and speak to their association, or their market. But if Randy went and spoke to Wells Fargo Bank Card about, working 1% harder as a salesperson, or pushing yourself, and think about how much money that man can make.
Oh, for sure, he could do wonderfully. He could definitely do well.
You're going to make sure that he really does retire from the DJ industry.
Yeah. I mean, he earned it. He deserves it.
And I think part of the reason Randy's not a young man, and I think now that he's lost some weight and such, and that family time and time with friends where he can go out and experience nature, I think you just put everything together for him. Yeah, it was really cool. It was really cool seeing him, in that hiking mode. You could see he was excited to get up that mountain, and he didn't actually make it all the way to the top, but we won't tell anybody that. He did a really great job, though. He made it probably about 3/4 of the way. Him and Jim Cerrone had turned back, and when we were coming back down, we ended up running into them again. But to know what Randy's been through with his weight and everything, his physical fitness means a lot to him now, and it's really cool to see how he really turned his life around. I think it's encouraging for a lot of DJs. He did also get the Mobile Beat Lifetime Achievement Award this year, so that was a really cool presentation for him as well. So Randy was great at the 1% solution, as always. So Cammy's in the chat room, and Randy didn't make it to the top, and #quitter. All right, there's
Cammy made it.
Cammy,
she did.
She probably was calling him all sorts of colorful things on the way. Come on, where are you?
So you have to watch on Wednesday for mine and Dave's video or show at 9:00 Central, 10:00. Yeah, 10:00 Eastern time. I've got a great story of reaching the peak of this mountain, and it has to do with Dave.
Nice. You have to share it on. So overall, I think for anyone who's interested in going to these shows next year, Mobile Beat is actually going to be about the same time in mid-March. But Photo Booth Expo is moving to South Point, which is about 4 or 5 miles south of the Tropicana, and that's going to be the last week in February. So they've changed the dates and such on that. Right now, the Photo Booth Expo pass is $100 or something like that. It's just incredibly cheap to get that pass for if you're interested in that. Last year, I couldn't believe people weren't buying the pass. It's like it was $70 for a period of time. And it's like, just buy the pass because you can resell it. People were paying $200 to buy the passes.
Or just donate $25 later on.
Yes, or you could do that because that seems to be a thing to do for some people, I guess. I don't know. Yeah. That's like 4 pieces of cheesecake, I'm just saying.
Yeah, it is.
So with Randy retiring from the DJ circuit.
You forgot your air quote.
Retiring, I got you. Retiring from the DJ circuit, but doing this amazing health kick, is he going to replace the 1% solution with the 1 pound solution?
Yeah.
And how to improve your life 1 pound at a time?
Yeah, it's a great point.
He probably could, as a few people.
I think he could. He really seriously could. He could branch it off, and he could have a sister seminar, and I think it would work for him.
Okay, so we're gonna move on because we wanted tonight to be about not just the shows that happened last week, but we wanted to kind of hit a little bit on some shows that are coming up. A lot of you asked questions about, hey, when's there something going to be in my neck of the woods? That's what we're going to be looking at for the rest of the year in the calendar and such. We've got coming up, I'm just going to go through and name them, and then we'll talk individually. Our next major show we've got is the Midwest DJs Live coming up here at the end of April. What?
Got one more before that. You got 2 more before that.
Oh, yeah, the Audio Symposium and the Lighting Symposium.
Why do you say it like that?
Wow,
nobody
can feel.
Nobody can.
Because they're not conventions; they're workshops.
They're workshops, and they're already filled up. So it's like, yeah, here's something you can't go to. Oh, let's get excited about something you can't go to. Oh, yay! I want to buy a ticket. Well, you can't. Okay, there you go.
All right, let's talk about Midwest. Go, just go.
For those who are wondering, we'll talk about them. So, Audio Symposium and Video or Lighting Symposium. There actually is a couple of seats, I believe, to the Audio Symposium. One of the 2 has a couple of spots remaining. These happen in Burnsville. They're at the middle of April.
No, they're actually the first week or the second full week in April.
Okay, second full week in April. These are in Burnsville at the EV headquarters. They talk about, obviously, lighting in one, and they talk about audio and how to get the best sound. And a lot of you have asked about that whole gain structure world. This is where they dig into that. This is where, when Ben Stowe takes that microphone and sticks it 6 inches in front of the speaker and doesn't get feedback, this is where they talk about that technology and that knowledge. It's a neat thing, but it's a very intense 2 days. 2 days for one, 2 days for the other, and they're usually sold out well in advance.
Yeah,
well in advance.
Yeah, they did a good job. It's going to be exciting. I'll be there actually for both. I have to leave. Early from audio. I have to leave on Wednesday night. We have a big event that we set on Thursday for Friday. So I'll be there in spirit on the last.
So let's jump ahead to Midwest DJs Live. That is coming up in Milwaukee. It's going to be, you know what? I don't even know the casino. Did anybody grab that information?
Yeah, that was your job. You had Midwest.
Jared.
Yep.
Jared had Midwest.
Jared had Midwest.
I had Midwest, and I had ARMS. I'm going to say it wrong. I know I'm going to say it wrong. But Potawatomi, 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 Potawatomi.
Sure.
Is that right?
Sounds good. Yeah.
Sounds great to me.
Hotel and Casino.
You have a great Native American accent.
You do. He does. He makes that just come rolling right off his tongue so naturally.
Yeah. Yeah. Me? No. How would that? Now I don't even want to try to. I see. Now, if you were Shaney, she and I have a thing going on right now about accents. And if you were Shaney, I would probably attempt it. But you're not Shaney, which means that someone's going to take this out of context and be like, "Why is he saying that the wrong way?"
Yeah,
like,
she would probably try to say it with a Northern European Indian accent.
Yeah,
because those go together so well.
But it would come out like Boston. That's how it would come across. Anyway,
that's been drinking in Boston too long, so you put it all together, and that's the accent she's gonna give you.
It is in Milwaukee, and yeah, I'm very excited about it. To be very honest, I'm stoked about it. I went last year, bought my tickets while I was there for this year, and actually at Midwest, not Midwest, but at Mobile Beat, they released the lineup for Midwest DJs Live, and it's a pretty. I think it's a solid. It's a solid. Your Jeremy, your buddy Dave is going to be there. You're going to be there as well.
Yep.
It's going to be a solid 2 days, 3 days if you include the 29th, of a lot of education. Definitely smaller than Mobile Beat, but like you were saying before, Jeremy, sometimes it's not necessarily the quantity of people that are there; it's the quality, and it's the filling in the pie, so to speak. But there are all kinds. Mike Walter's going to be there. Jim Cerrone is going to be there. Jamie Bodie's going to be there. Mitch Taylor. I don't know. Is he from around the Midwest area?
Yeah, I think. Well, he's a Patriots fan, so I'm guessing he's out in the Boston area. Would be my guess. I don't know.
Okay. All right. Well, he's towards the end of April 30th, so it's kind of like let's just let him finish out the month before we get into the good stuff, which is when we bring in Dave.
Everyone leaves by that time, anyways.
Yeah. Nobody's there on the first day. At the end of the first day, everyone's gone by that time. So last year I went. That was my first time going to Midwest DJs Live, and I really, really enjoyed exactly what Jeremy was talking about in reference to the hallway conversations and the meetups afterwards, and that element and that aspect of it. That's what I'm looking for. I love what's lined up. Don't get me wrong. I love what is going to be there, but I'm really looking forward to reconnecting with people, seeing some friends that I haven't seen for a while, chatting about industry stuff, but actually chatting more with people about just them and finding out, what's going on. Anytime I go to a convention, I try to get at least 5 to 7 different nuggets, applicational nuggets that I can apply to my business and run with. And I have no concern whatsoever that they're gonna supply that for me. So I'm stoked about it.
Yeah.
Jared, how many times have we personally met?
How many times have you and I personally met? There was that one time when we both went for the modeling gig with the buttless chaps. I don't think either one of us made that though.
No, I ended up going to the booth.
Yeah. It was probably a wise choice. It was weird. It was cold. It was weird. Outside of that though, I know we met at WED MBA last year.
Yep.
We chatted there for a little bit. I think we bumped into each other at Mobile Beat 2015, and that might have been it.
I'm guessing like 2 or 3 times.
Yeah, I think those were the only 2 times.
Yeah. So like you said, that's the nice thing. I like the fact that this show is still small. And I don't know how much it really wants to grow. I think it has a really good potential of being that show where kind of like ARMS. I don't know who's picking up ARMS. But it's kind of that knit. Okay, good. It's kind of that tight group of people that have an opportunity to actually have conversations and meet people that you've probably wanted to meet. So I'm excited. I've never been to this show, and Mitch had asked me to present in the past, and it just never worked with my schedule. And my schedule going the week into is extremely crazy, but I'm excited to be at this show, and it's going to be good.
Well, I'm stoked about it. I think it's going to be good. I like the fact that they've kind of bumped you up with Dave. So it's going to be a cool little, he's going to be able to lead you in. I know that there's a lunch break in between the two, but I think you guys are still going to be able to do something fun to kind of play off of each other. But,
and Jeremy, you're never going to use up the fact that he was your opening act, right? You're not going to use that at all.
What?
I didn't know.
You need someone to warm up the crowd. I guess Dave would have to work. Yeah, my opening act. I love that. Thank you, Dan.
You're welcome.
Oh, I'm going to have fun with that.
So for those of you wanting to check that out, it's out at MidwestDJsLive.com. And you guys can go pop out and check that out. The Disc Jockey News, as in Lori and I, will be there. And, of course, many of our talent will be there also.
They do have one premium workshop still available, FYI, if you want to get a little extra education going on Sunday, April 29th. Vicky Musney is doing the Power Personalities. So that's Sunday afternoon going into the evening. If you want to get just a little bit of an extra oomph, that is the opportunity to do so. I will not be there. I know most people are wondering when I'm going to get there. Don't worry. I'm going to let you know when I'm going to be there right now. Sunday night. That's when I'm going to be there. I know.
And then last year we had our field trip where we went and did important things during the show. Jared, we'll have to do that again this year.
The what? I'm sorry.
We had our field trip where we went downtown Milwaukee and in spirit.
Oh,
yes,
that was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
We went with Bill Herman and Jason Jones and Vicky and Mitch. Mitch was there as well.
Yeah, that
was solid.
That was a crowd. So we'll be doing things like that. For those of you who are watching and you don't really have a lot of connections and things at this type of a show, introduce yourself. Come and talk to Jared or myself or Mitch or Breck won't. Dave, talk to those people who are friendly, and we'll help you to get connected and invite you along with us. And we're going to go do embarrassing things like, let the air out of everyone's tires from Canada. We'll bring you along on those types of journeys, and it'll be fun.
Why does it have to be Canadian tires only?
Well, because their air is like really...
Because you get more air for the tire.
Yeah, it's cold weather, and there's going to be air. They probably
Conversion factor.
It just sounds extremely apologetic as the air is coming out. It's like, sorry. Sorry, that was a cheap one.
That was a good one, though. Okay, so continue on. We get out of May then, and into June, we have Arms DJ.
Yeah, unfortunately, Arms doesn't have too much up right now.
Did he announce dates?
I think they did. I think it's the 11th.
Just checking to see if Robbie's got a website up yet.
He does, but as far as the actual dates, I know that there it is. June 17th is the pre-event, and then the 19th is the education. So it looks like June 18th at 6 p.m. through the 19th at 6 p.m. Down there in Greenville. I'm saying it wrong, but when I say Greenville, they say, nope, that's not how we say it down here. It's Greenville.
You don't see it right there. Okay, well,
Greenville. And that's the first. Now, something that's interesting about Arms DJs, and if you've never been to an Arms DJ conference in the past, it's very unique because last year they said that they're actually going to expand it. It's going to basically branch out, and it's going to go to several different locations. They've got the locations down, but they don't have the dates. So in June of this year, Greenville, Tennessee, but then it's also going to be going to Atlanta, Georgia, Richmond, Virginia, Louisville, Kentucky, Orlando, Florida, Bluffton, South Carolina. Would so love to bring it to Indianapolis, but that's apparently not going to happen. We have to get someplace near a large body of water for them to come to there. But they will be there on June 18th and 19th. However, like I said before, they don't have the speakers announced as of right now, but they do have a couple workshops. And one of these workshops I'm extremely interested in. The other one I'm interested in, but the other one I'm really interested in, and that is Business Masterclass, the DJ Business Masterclass, the 4 steps to more wedding and event sales. There are currently 15 seats left. This is being taught by Alan Berg. So if you've never heard of Alan Berg, if you've never seen Alan Berg, he looks like Dan Carpenter, but super smiley. So it's just like really big smiles. Dan, can you give me really big smiles? Yeah, that's Alan Berg right there.
That's kind of maniacal right there. Alan doesn't have the maniacal look. Like
That's
I'm going
not
to
maniacal.
Yeah, I look kind of maniacal. I mean, seriously. I was kind of afraid for a second there.
No, more constipated, but not.
Okay.
Not.
I knew it was somewhere there.
So anyway, that's one that I'm super excited about. They're also doing an Arms DJs Mixposium that's being taught by, I just saw it, Jamie Bodie.
Jamie Bodie put that on.
So if you're looking for something to look forward to specifically, those 2 classes are, like I said, I'm really excited about Alan Berg's. I'm a big fan of him. I like how he writes. I like how he presents. It's very conversational. It's very organic, and I appreciate that type of style when it comes to workshops. So if you're looking for something to do and you want to make sure that you're getting your money's worth, jump into one or both of those. Both of those are most definitely going to be worth it. Let's see here. Jamie Bodie's, that one's going to be happening on June 18th. That's the Mixposium. June 18th from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. 9 a.m. a.m. Holy cow.
At a DJ show?
I started out with breakfast, though. I mean, like you get hooked up when you're there.
No,
okay.
That's nice. Yeah, Dan, you've
Well,
been
at
there.
least the year I went, there was some nice breakfast. So.
See, Alan knows what's going on. His is at the same day, so you kind of have to pick and choose. But his is from 9:30 until 4:30. That extra 30 minutes, it takes time. This hair doesn't just do this on its own.
I have to sleep on it for at least 3 hours.
I do. I and then I had to flip and do the other side for 3 hours. That's how you get that pompadour, point up into the front. That's the only way that happens.
2 minutes.
So it looks like you're gonna have to choose which one that you would prefer to go to. But both of them I think are going to be exceptional. I'm saying a lot. I am so sorry. I had a Toastmasters meeting today.
It's a good thing.
And
you were saving them. You were saving all of the for this.
Saving all of my fillers for this small show that's being broadcast in the entire world. So I apologize, Japan. If you're listening right now, to all of my I sincerely apologize. Arms DJ, I really, I'm excited about it. Mainly because my grandmother, my wife's grandmother, lives down there. So my room and board is free. And all I have to do is drive down, and then I just stay with her because she lives near Gatlinburg. So it's about a 30-minute drive away from Greenville. I love it. I absolutely love it. It's wonderful. And then they do this really cool gear swap. So if you're in the market for something old or new or whatnot, they normally have some really cool stuff for the DJ swap meet.
I wish they had more of those. I have so much stuff that it's like I just need to sell it. I just need to get rid of it, and then I put it on eBay, and then eBay takes 30%. So it's like, oh crap,
Why don't you promote it for Midwest DJs Live?
About doing a swap?
Yeah, either doing a swap or putting a list together, the stuff that you really just don't want to move.
Or
and
just
then,
do like you typically do and put it in your van and go park in front of a school and say, hey, kids, want to check out what's in the van?
100 amp.
Doesn't that work?
that's legal.
Am I sharing too much here? Maybe we should move on. I'm sorry.
That's okay in Minnesota. Here in the state of Indiana, that's frowned upon.
Oh, well, it's because you're not using the right kind of candy. See, I've got lollipops.
All right, what's after June?
Okay, so we continue. So we get into July, and July is featuring a first-time show, the Marquee show, which is going to be happening at the Westin in Chicago. This is going to be put on by one of the Disc Jockey News' very own, Keith Kokoris, KC for a lot of you. He does a show on Thursday night, but Keith is putting together the kind of show he would like to go to, meaning that it's featuring a lot of higher end educational content. Generally, one of the things people talk about at trade shows is that it's a lot of DJ 101. So what Casey's done with this particular show is he's brought in speakers who are going to be speaking about things at a little more advanced level and are going to make you think a little bit and how to apply things to your business. It's not going to be spoon feeding you with here's 10 tips on how to become a better person. Here's some theories that you can take and implement in your show to become a better business or a better performer or a better what have you. The Marquee Show, you can check that out at marqueeshow.com, but that is going to be coming up July 9th, 10th, and 11th, which is a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And it's at the Westin Hotel. And I've been there before, which is kind of weird. I haven't been to many hotels in Chicago, but I have been to the Westin. And I remember we were there for a different, not a DJ event there. I think we were in there for, it was an insurance thing when I was doing some things with the insurance company. Very nice hotel. I've seen some pictures of the property, and it's looking like it's going to be a very nice, very upscale event for DJs who are really serious about taking their business to a different level.
I had been watching as he was releasing the presenters and the talent and all that, And I mean, when you talk about high end presenters, I don't know if you're familiar with Michael Sarabelli. He always speaks at the special event show, and he has this session that people pay extra money to go see this guy. To get into his presentation, you have to spend over the top of your ticket price to go see it, and the room is sold out. It's packed. He's got some great presenters lined up. I mean, we're talking big business people. And again, I think this is a show to watch out for. I think this is a show that a lot of people are going to really learn where their business is at, not just as a DJ company, but as an actual business. And I was talking with him. He was at Booth Expo. I was talking with him a little bit, and he's excited about it. And when he gets excited about something, he puts his whole heart into it. Yeah. So it's going to be an incredible show.
Yeah, I'm really, really excited to go and see, again, friends. I mean, all of these shows, that's one of the cool things about it, is that we're able to go and see some of our DJ family at these shows, and then to be able to go and spend a couple of days really focused. From my perspective, I go to these DJ trade shows, and I end up having to feel like I need to go to the exhibit hall and spend a lot of time there shooting video. There will be some non-manufactured tabletop type sponsors there. But now I can go there and I can actually sit in these seminars next to Jeremy Breck and say, Jeremy, what did you think of that? Wow, that was a neat thing. Did you see? And we can talk and we can in basically experience the show together, which makes these shows 10 times better than just going and sitting there by myself and not having that when you get done sharing and asking questions and picking someone's other thought process and what they just experienced. So really looking forward to that one. Okay. Again, I think I put the link in both chats. I've been putting the links of these shows in the chats as we're going along here. So the next one we get into August. Dan, what have you found out for us?
Well, for like the first time ever, it feels like they actually announced this show early. We're talking about the DJ Expo out in Atlantic City. For the past, I don't know how many years, every time I wanted to hear about it, at least it's like, okay, Mobile Beat's officially over. We know it's going to be in August, and we kind of have an idea what it's going to be. And then it'd be like April, and they finally release the dates. And so it was always kind of annoying because even though you kind of had an idea, until it was set, you just couldn't really put it in place and make plans. And this past January, they actually came out early with it. I don't know if that was part of the survey that came out. For those of you that didn't know, after last year's and kind of the interesting response, I guess, for lack of better terms, that they got, they decided to actually put this information out a little bit earlier. So again, back in January, they finally decided. Dates are August 13th through the 16th. That's a Monday through Thursday. One of the big changes for this year, and I'm mostly excited about this, I think. Mostly. Not most excited about this, but I'm pretty much on board for this so far. At least I think I'm going to be. Is that they're holding everything at the same place again? So not like last year where half of it was here and half of it was over there. They're doing it over at Harrah's Casino. Is that the official name for it?
Yes.
Harrah's Resort.
Harrah's Resort, yes.
Harrah's Resort in Atlantic City. It's off of the boardwalk. So that's the part that I'm kind of, I don't want to say hesitant about, but that's the part where I'm not fully, because every experience I've had, it's always been either on the boardwalk or really close to the boardwalk where I can walk down to it. I mean, the convention center last year wasn't that far away. Most of the times when I'm stumbling back at 2:00 in the morning, it was fine just to walk through the streets. So I did not go to Toastmasters, so I'm putting all my ums in just because I can.
Yeah.
So anyway, so they're doing this setup. They haven't released anything as far as seminars or speakers or anything like that. So I expect it to be, typical style of what they've done in the past, 3 different tracks, depending on what you're looking for, a club or mobile, that type of thing. What I did think was nice though is prices are up, so you can go ahead and purchase those now, which again, typically before you had to wait. And then they've also got the hotel accommodations; those are up, and price wise, pretty close. I mean, it's $129 a night is what I'm seeing for whether it's a single, a double, or even a triple. Which in the past, with the Taj and some of the other ones, it was like when you started putting 3 people in the room, suddenly the price jumped up, and it doesn't seem like they're doing that for Harrah's this year. Again, like I said, the thing that I'm kind of, if I want to be hesitant about anything, is there's Harrah's and there's Borgata that's over there, and there's not really a whole lot else.
It says there's a Golden Nugget over there too. I'm just looking at a map.
Is there?
Yeah, and for all I know, it could be shut down, but it said that there's Harrah's, and it looks like maybe across the street, what have you, is the Golden Nugget, and then kind of across again is Borgata.
Okay.
But we're looking at, this is a good mile plus from Harrah's down to the boardwalk.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're about
So
twice the distance, 3 times the distance.
The boardwalk.
What's that?
What was that?
You have to walk to the boardwalk.
Well, you could walk it, or you could do the hustle.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd want to be walking from Harrah's to the boardwalk.
Yeah.
There's a lot of area in there that you don't want to walk through.
Yeah, we saw that just last year.
But no, but I mean, Harrah's is really nice. It's really big, and that's one of the things I think that kind of has definitely going for it. It is more of somewhat of those all-in-one type of places. Whereas Taj, you had a couple things in between, but there was a lot of stuff on the boardwalk. With Tropicana, they had a ton of stuff in there, but they didn't have the show in there. This, they're going to have the show, and they're talking about kind of a different type of exhibit hall. I don't know what that's going to mean. Obviously, there's not a whole lot of details on it. They're calling it ultra modern, so we'll see exactly what that means.
Ultra modern.
I think I saw that, unless I'm dreaming what I saw.
Ultra modern.
Ultra modern. That sounds kind of.
It was in the press release, so that was, I'm scrolling down through again, trying to see if I can see that. Yeah. So anyway, I mean, like I said, it seems like it's going to be a good show. It seems, like they finally listened. People wanted it all in one place. They didn't want the whole issue that they had last year where it's like you're over here for a little bit, now you're back over here. Even though they provided the transportation, it wasn't too bad from that spot. It still wasn't quite the same feel as it had been in the previous years.
Yeah, it's a long walk from one end to the other. We're looking at the map and such, and somebody put a post on that. It's a long, walking there. But yeah, I think
it's Peter to jitney everybody around.
Yeah,
it's not like walking a mile in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. You don't want to do it.
Well, the problem in Sioux Falls is when you walk a mile, you end up having to dodge the piles of horse as you're walking down.
You walk a mile, you're outside of town.
And there's a guy at the end of town with a jug, and he's playing along to his. Okay, maybe that's another story. Okay, so the big thing with DJ Expo is, as Dan said, that the information, there's not a ton of information, but the frustrating thing and the good thing about it is that they're frustratingly consistent with their educational content, that you're probably going to have a game seminar, you're going to have a bar mitzvah seminar, you're going to have this, and you're going to have that. If it's your first time there, you want to get a pass to attend the seminars. If you've been there a couple of times, if you haven't attended the seminars for a while, it would be a good refresher. Otherwise, the value of DJ Expo, I feel, is in that exhibit hall and in the hallway. I mean, it's and nothing to belittle what they've been doing in the past, but it's just, that's not their focus. Their focus is to get you there and show you some great deals in that exhibit hall.
So Dan, can you get tickets? You can't get tickets yet for the show. Is that correct?
I thought you could.
I had someone come up to me who was actually at Mobile Beat. They're in my market, and his name is Chris. He came up to me and he's like, "Hey, I went to Mobile Beat, and I think next year I'm probably just going to do the expo floor." And I said, "I don't know. Nothing against Mobile Beat's expo floor." I said, "I don't know if that would be your best purchase if you were looking at going to Mobile Beat. I think if you're going to go to Mobile Beat, you're more likely to go for the education. If you want to go to an expo, you want to go see gear, you want to touch microphones and turntables and lights, you have to go to DJ Expo." And I think we would all agree, like, DJ Expo is known for its show floor. It's 8 times the size. And you can take gear and walk out with it. I mean, not just like walk out with it, but
Gotta
you can
pay-
actually take gear with you, where usually at Mobile Beat, it's okay. Your item will be drop shipped to your house and you'll see it in 2 weeks, So if you're looking for a gear heavy convention, that is definitely a great convention to go to.
To clarify, I clicked on the link just to see if I could register, and it was the registration for last year. So some of the information's been updated for the new stuff. Some of it's still old links, and so yeah, nothing yet.
Yeah, he was at the wedding show yesterday on his phone. He's like, "Yep, it's still 2017.
Yeah,
I can't get to the new link." So if you are listening, make sure that you DJ Expo, make sure that you please update the website so people can start buying tickets, because
it's getting to be that time. It's getting to be that time. Okay, continuing on, we get into fall. Really, I think the next event after that is probably Wedding MBA, which is happening early November in Las Vegas, and that's a show we'll talk about as we get closer, because that's not a DJ specific. It's more of a wedding industry, but that is kind of a hidden gem, I think, for a lot of people who want to go and not only learn in the seminars, but you can actually sit down and talk to. If you're looking to look, I'll get back to that, but you can talk to photographers and wedding planners and coordinators and florists and all sorts of different people who are involved with the wedding industry who are at Wedding MBA. Now, the reason I say that you have to look, Jeremy, if you could classify DJs that go to Wedding MBA, there's 2 looks that you will see there. Can you?
Your business class,
yes,
and your non-business class.
That's exactly what I'm meaning. And what is the perception of the non-business class when you're talking to a photographer or a coordinator?
I think there's obviously a lot of stereotyping when it comes to us DJs, because they work with us every single weekend, and it's like anything. I mean, you work with terrible photographers, you work with terrible DJs, you work with terrible catering companies. And all it takes is one bad apple for a photographer to say, "Oh, you're a DJ." So, building that trust, you kind of have to like say, "Hey, I'm a business DJ. Like this is my business. This isn't just I do this for $200 a show, and hopefully I get drinks at the end of the night." People are legit to me when they show up to Wedding MBA, because they want to work on more than just the coolness of their business. They want to work on their business.
Yeah.
That's my perspective.
Yeah, I would agree wholeheartedly. And it's interesting when you have a DJ who's used to going to a DJ Expo and a Mobile Beat, and this is their first time of not doing that, and they're wearing the ill-fitting, half a size too small polo with their, the big jock entertainment thing across the front of their shirt, and on the back, it has something, either bad URL and a corny graphic of the guy who's got his thing spin, that graphic that we've all seen.
I was just going to do that same pose.
I saw some of them there, and as they're walking by, and you're watching, you spend time, a lot of people watching in Vegas, they walk by, and you could just see some of these young ladies who are coordinators or what have you, dressed they're looking very nice because they're dressed in a business professional manner, and they're rolling their eyes and shaking their head. No.
Yeah, and I think the reason I like that show, and Jared, you can agree, I think you actually get to network with more than just DJs. Like you get to hear other people's perspective, and like I said, it might not be the perspective you want to hear, but you're going to get tips from photographers, from videographers on what we can do better in our businesses. So I love networking outside of the DJ world, and I think Wedding MBA is a good opportunity to do that.
Yep. When I went last year, and I specifically told myself that I was only going to go to one DJ seminar. All of the rest that I went to were either photographers or general business or even venues, just to get a better insight into what they're thinking and how their business mind works. And it's paid off dividends. It's been wonderful. You have to sometimes take yourself out of your normal educational brain pattern and put yourself somewhere completely different, and it allows you to rethink and reprocess and reprogram how you want to approach your networking end state. The networking aspect of it is great. I networked with more DJs than necessarily planners and whatnot, just because I thought that would be better for me. but being able to make friendships and make those connections and get honest feedback from planners, from videographers. That was a big one for me. I really wanted to reach out to a lot of videographers and figure out, we work syncopatedly more and more as these weddings come along.
Yep.
What are things that I can do that can be helping you? Here are some issues that I have. How can I, with this issue, approach a videographer, but it not be in an aggressive manner and it be in a way that you're going to appreciate it? And what better person to ask how to do that than a videographer or a photographer or whoever it might be?
I think one of the things that would be awesome about that is not just you're getting that feedback, but because you're getting it from somebody outside of your area, when you take it back, I feel like it has even more of an impact with those that you're working with, rather than, I learned this because Bob, who I've worked with for the last 3 months, has finally decided to share something with me. You sought that out, and now you're taking that back. And I don't know. I mean, to me, if I had somebody come to me with that information, I feel like it would be better. It would hit me better.
Yeah. Yep. Nope. I think you're absolutely right. I will say this. As a DJ, as a mobile entertainer, I don't think that Wed MBA should be your only source of education. I think that needs to be paired up with something else, whether it's, ARMS or it's Midwest or it's Mobile Beat. You need something to counterbalance, because you're only going to get one side, and you need to be able to get both sides of that educational burrito, if you will.
Yeah, I think that's a good tip or a good idea there. Very good idea.
Well, that's what I do. That's what I do, Josh. That's why I'm here. It's just the positive, amazing ideas flowing out of me.
And to kind of wrap things up here now, for those of you who are listening to us talk about all these different shows, and you're like, there's just absolutely no way in 2018 I'm going to be able to afford to go to these shows. First off, this is a great time to start budgeting and putting money aside for getting into 2019's show fund. That's going to be one place to start. Second place to start is, we're going to be starting in 2 weeks from tonight, the Disc Jockey News, or DJNTV. This will be our convention series on Monday night. Each Monday night at 9 o'clock Eastern, we're going to be doing a 1-hour seminar. These are the same seminars that are going on at these different shows, but they're going to be done right here, and you're going to be able to watch these. Now, in order to see these, you're going to have to either join the DJNTV Insider area out at DJNTVinsider.com, or there's going to be links where you can go and actually purchase the ability to watch the live stream that particular night. All that information is going to be coming out more and more here in the next few days, in the next week. Our first one will be on April 2nd, and we have the schedule pretty much laid out between now and the end of August for Monday night, the convention series going on Monday night. Why are we doing this? Because I'm hoping that you guys will learn something in these shows. You're going to be able to take that, implement it in your business, and make more money. And when you can make more money and get excited there, now you can afford to go and see us at Midwest DJs Live, or DJ Expo, or Mobile Beat, or ARMS DJ, or the Marquee Show, or Wedding MBA. Because, I think I'm going to be at all of them. I don't have a life, I guess.
You have a life. It's a good life.
Must be. If people keep wanting to, let you go.
Yeah.
I guess. But
Lori kicks you out. I mean,
well, no, she comes with me. That way I don't get lost and, go stand in a corner for half an hour by myself again.
You got LDI coming too. You forgot about LDI.
Yeah, but that's not a DJ specific. I mean, we have Infocom, and it's there. There's variants to the trade shows that are out there.
That's a workshop. You can't count that. Yeah, that one's already sold out. You can't count that one.
Yeah, exactly. We don't count those. They don't fit. They are a narrow definition of what we're going to cover. That's what we're after. Well, we're going to wrap things up. Thank you for being with us tonight out on Facebook or out on YouTube. If you have any questions or anything about what's happening with these shows, feel free to reach out, and we'll do the best to kind of get you connected with where you need to be connected to get those answers. And if you have any questions that are really difficult, please bring those back on Wednesday night during Dave and Jeremy's conversation, where they will tackle those difficult questions. If you've got some, softball ones that you can just pitch in that are easy to answer, you can bring those back next Monday night for us.
John, I've got an announcement. Yeah. Can I make it now?
I was going to say, we've got one more thing before we leave here.
Okay, cool.
You're going to be there on Sunday night.
What?
You said you were going to be there on Sunday night. You already made that big announcement.
Oh, yeah. I've got a second announcement. This one's even bigger. Big hands, everybody.
All right. There's Tuesday.
Ooh. So you've heard me talk about Toastmasters all the time. Jeremy actually talked about Toastmasters earlier as well. I want to let everybody know I've sent out a video and let some other folks know about this, and this is kind of the first big public announcement of it. But Toastmasters originally was designed for groups to meet in person. Over the last couple of years, they've actually expanded it, and now they actually offer online clubs. And what you can do is you can get with others via a Zoom conference or any other, Google Hangout or whatnot, and you could have a specific conference or a Zoom Toastmasters meeting with a specific group of people. As an example, businesses will get together and they'll have business only. If you're in the specific business or organization, you're able to get in there. Saying all of that, I am going to be spearheading a DJ and Master of Ceremonies exclusive Toastmasters group. It's going to be online based, so it's going to be done through Zoom, and it is going to be happening probably starting in the next couple of weeks or so. I'm going to be putting together a Zoom conference where I can hopefully answer a lot of questions that you might have for Toastmasters. There is a new program of Toastmasters that was just rolled out for a majority of the country. There's still a few different areas that are in the process of being rolled out, but it's called Pathways. If you know anything about Toastmasters, you know that it's really a one-size-fits-all approach to public speaking and to scripting and to writing. And this new Pathways program is actually developed and designed for very specific areas that you want to improve on. So if you need to improve on your sales technique, there is a path for sales technique. If you need to improve on networking skills, there is a path for networking. If you need to build strategic relationships, there is a path for that. There's actually 10 different specific paths that you can jump into and learn specifically what you want to learn about. If this is of interest to you, reach out to me. Let me know that you're interested, and I'm going to get things moving. Like I said, I've released this information a few days ago in a different Facebook group. I'm not going to release it on all of the Facebook groups. It's only going to be in DJNTV and this one other Facebook group, which is, it's not really a secret, is it? I mean, it's Brian Red's group. It's the DJ Video Cave.
Yep, Video Cave.
So that's where I released it at a couple days ago. I've already gotten a massive surge of interest for it. This is a professional organization. This is something that you can absolutely write off as far as a continual education. This is not something if you're thinking about how you'll, or a convention that you want to try to get into, if you want to kind of get your feet wet and take the baby steps before you plop down the money to go into a big convention, this is a great starting point for you. This is a great opportunity to start figuring out ways that you can learn to speak better, how to use your words properly, how to use hand gestures, and all of those fun things. And being exclusive to just DJs and just Masters of Ceremonies, we're going to be able to focus in on specific areas that we're really going to be able to expand upon. So saying that, if you're interested, reach out, let me know. I'm looking forward to seeing where this goes and seeing how many people are actually really interested in it. This is not a free thing. The Toastmasters has a twice a year due system, but it's a very nominal fee. For the Toastmasters International, it's about $45 every 6 months. And then you have your club dues that are on top of that. Club dues are anywhere between $5 to $15, depending on what monies are needed in order to keep that club going. So sure. Yeah, if you have questions, let me know. Looking forward to seeing who jumps in on this and how this can expand for everybody.
Sounds interesting.
It's going to be cool. I've been looking into it a lot. There's a lot of the Pathways is the perfect way to spearhead this DJ and Master of Ceremony element, because the stuff that they've focused in on, and it's all digital now. It used to be all paper, and it's all digital, and now being able to do it all via online clubs is just going to be able to, we're going to be able to do a lot of really cool things and have continual all year long education to allow you to grow and become the better entertainer and better performer, better public speaker, just be the best you that you can be for your client, which we all want to do that. And I'll tell you this much, I never thought in a million years that I would spark so much interest from clients from the word Toastmasters. so many clients that are in larger companies. There's a large company here in Indianapolis called Eli Lilly, and they're a big pharmaceutical company. There are so many of them that are in Toastmasters in their internal company club, that when I sat down and I met with them and they saw my Toastmasters certificates and whatnot, and we talked about it, that was a huge selling point for them. They're like, so you do, it's a continual thing. You're in it as like what we do, right? And I'm like, yes, I do. And they're like, that's huge. We know that you put forth that effort weekly to continue your education. It's a huge selling point.
Jared, one quick thing, and then we got to wrap up. What kind of a time commitment, if a person wants to get involved with the group, what would you recommend for a time commitment for them to kind of allot for this process to get the most out of it?
Yeah. The average for a club, they normally meet once a week for approximately an hour to an hour and a half. Every club is different. Even the online clubs are very, very different. The one thing that is a consistent, and it's a very strict consistent, is there's always an agenda, and you always start on time and you always end on time. If we start at 10 o'clock and we end at 11 o'clock, at 10 o'clock, that gavel goes down and we get started with the meeting. There is an order, there is a process, because there's certain things that have to be done. There are speeches that have to be made. There are table topics. Table topics is like the improvisational aspect of speeches. So you have like a 2-minute speech that you have to present. And then you have evaluations. Evaluations are like if we were doing a club right now and John gave a speech and I'm an evaluator, during that speech that John gives, I'm going to be evaluating him and giving him things to improve on and things that he does really, really well. And then at the end of the club meeting, I would give him my evaluation, tell him what my thoughts and my opinions. So that's why I'm saying it really depends on the size. It depends on the location of everybody. It depends on what your ultimate focus is going to be and how much time you need to allot for that. Our club, the club that I meet with every Monday night, our club meeting is an hour and 15 minutes. And it's every Monday weekly with like clockwork. It's always the exact same. I've seen other clubs that meet bi-weekly. The best way of really getting a judge on what works is once you find out those that are seriously interested, then going forward with, okay, do we want to do this weekly or do we want to do it bi-weekly? Do we want to do it every week except for the third week of the month and then we take that one off? Every club is different.
Sure.
But I would say for the idea of getting it in your brain, an hour a week, every week.
And my job is to count how many times Jared says Tonight, Jared, it was only 9. So you did good.
But if we counted how many times he said the word and, it'd be 3,000.
No, it wasn't.
What?
And.
It was my flyover. It was my flyover friend.
It is a great group though.
I've loved it. I have absolutely loved it. I've learned that I also have have you guys ever heard of this?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. They call me out on that.
I'm going to start listening for it now.
Yep. You did it twice tonight, Jeremy. Just FYI, if we're counting and we're throwing them out there, but it's okay because we're all learning and this is a safe space.
Yeah.
No, it isn't. Once we shut the cameras off or the live stream off, then it's time to rip into.
Yeah.
There's a reason why after the show's over, I go
we
cry.
ever stopped being off camera? We do it on camera too.
Oh, all right, we need to wrap things up. Jeremy, thank you for joining us tonight as our special guest. Jared, Dan, thank you for being on tonight, and thank you guys for watching. We'll be back tomorrow. We've got Ben Stowe and Brian Red and all the different things going on with Thomas Heath in the morning, and I can't remember. Goodness gracious, you'd think I'd have the schedule down by now.
It's Tuesday.
Just
look for the emails.
Just go to DJNTV's Facebook page, and it's the top thing. It's the schedule for the week. We'll catch you guys later. Good night, everyone.
Yeah.
Tonight's DJNTV show is sponsored in part by Electro Voice, DJ Event Planner, ADJ, NLFX Professional, Promo Only, Newmark, and DJNTV Insider.